Hello. Welcome to another Paranormal Torch almost live here on YouTube. And tonight I'm actually talking to two very good friends that I've known for a long time. In fact, helped me get into the whole paranormal field all the way back in, I think it was 2003. And that will be Medium Stewart Keeys and his good friend Andrew. Let's bring them in. Where are they? There we are. You alright, guys?
Hello, Jamie.
Hello, you two. Yeah, thanks for joining me tonight. So what we're going to do is, I thought it would be great to talk about the old days of Paranormal Tours, of course, which was one of the first tour companies to offer ghost hunts to the general public. And
wasn't many around then.
Yeah, there's you and one other major company. And how did that come about, Andrew?
Well, I started off, obviously, I've always had an interest in the paranormal, and from a kid, when I was, stories of my hometown in Gisborough in the northeast and things like that, and we're doing our own little thing growing up, going down the local graveyards and things, and then trying to get into these kind of haunted places was just too cost prohibitive. You just could not get into certain places without spending lots and lots of money. So eventually I had friends down the pub and people from work, and they're all saying, well, we would do one. So I thought, well, I'll set one up myself then. With my brother Nick and my wife Kerry and Aisha, my sister-in-law, we basically then decided to get other people involved by setting up this tour company and just literally going up and down the country. And we were running events every weekend from the tip of Scotland down to the Channel Islands.
Yeah, because I remember, obviously, at some point there could have been 3 or 4 different events going on in one particular weekend, and we was all over the country.
Yeah, it was busy. And it was fun, and we made lots of friends with people as well that we're still friends with today, like yourself, Jamie.
Yeah. No, they were some good years. I do miss them years. Yeah.
Yeah, we do too.
Yeah.
And but yeah, it was it was one of those kind of it grew and grew and grew, and lots of people getting involved, and lots of excitement, lots of interesting things. Sometimes nothing would happen, but we never promised for anything to happen. If it happens, it happens.
See, the thing is as well, I think we found that a lot of people coming on them events also decided to sort of go off and form their own sort of groups eventually, didn't they? Particularly in the later years.
Yeah, they did, and that was brilliant. That was, for me, that's great, because it's got people interested and carrying on that interest, and then following a similar formula, but with a smaller group of people, just to set their own little club up and share the cost. Providing it's a safe environment to go in. People can carry on the hobby.
And the costs still not cheap. It's more now.
No, it's I mean, obviously, I understand that businesses have to make money, and and you've got to pay staff for the evening, and we don't use much electricity though, do we? Because we're in the dark.
No, yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's true. Yeah. I mean, for instance, I don't know what
that's about it.
Yeah, I don't know what you would have paid for something like the Hellfire Caves or something back then. Would you remember that sort of price compared to now?
I can't off the top of my head, but it was none of them. Probably around £600-700, I would have thought, something like that. Now. Yeah, and I'm going back 15 years.
Wow.
So
15 years.
I think a lot of companies caught onto it, I think, as well. A lot of the businesses. So it's a bit like places that have weddings. There's a big price for it. As soon as they see, we can make quite a bit of money out of this now because there's a paranormal kind of route with this. Suddenly, a price. Some of the places that I had done, it might be £600, and then 2 years later, they're now asking for £1,000, and so it actually comes to a stage where it's just not feasible.
Yeah, I mean, as you know, guys, I worked at Coal Asphalt for a little while, handling people like the companies like Paranormal Tours was coming in, and it's certainly. It was definitely still a good income for the locations. But of course, the events companies coming in as well. There's so many out there now. You got your Haunted Happenings still, your Dust Till Dawn events. They're all still going, but they've all sort of branched out now into like north, south, and Wales and
Yeah.
Ireland versions as well. I think it's a good thing. It's a new sort of not entertainment. It's a new sort of experience, isn't it? I mean, I know when you guys were started, you did red letter days and stuff like that.
Yeah, we were. We were with Buy a Gift and Red Letter Days, and I think it was Virgin Experiences as well. You know, and yeah, it was another way to, you know, get our ideas and our, you know, enthusiasm out there to a wider audience that may not necessarily just looking for paranormal, you know, going for a paranormal event,
Yeah.
just going for an experience, you know. So yeah, it was basically on the shelves next to the driving days and driving experiences and cookery classes. You know, it was just one of those other experiences that you could go on.
It's
you know?
unique, and even to today, when I've inquired with locations, I normally go through via the filming office, and it's always, oh, that's a very unique, you know, interesting request. But we're interested, or something. Yeah, it's very interesting. You know, I guess you get a lot of people from workplaces want to do some sort of corporate event.
Yeah, team building events and things like that. Exactly. Yeah.
So, Stewart, how did you get involved with Paranormal Tours?
So that came through. I've known Andrew for donkey's years. We go way back, and this has obviously been the working away, beavering away for quite some time. Told me about it, and I thought, well, I'd really like to get involved with something like that, you know, because it really did kind of, you know, excite me to the thought of going into a haunted location where others would run away. I want to run forward straight into it, you know. And Andrew said, okay, well, look, let's see how it goes. We'll take you off to a location. Well, where was that location?
It was the Red Lion in Avebury.
Oh yeah,
Red Lion in Avebury.
Yeah, with the stones.
And there was a medium that was on that night called Rudy.
I know Rudy.
And come and join Rudy, do your bit, see how you get on. And I done that, and I really, really loved it. We kind of left it with Andrew, and Andrew was just going to say, well, you know, whether you have got this or not. I'm going to pass this one over to you now, because I think the decision-making process came along quite quickly on the way back home, didn't it?
Yeah, I mean, Stewart was great on the night, and, you know, to be fair, I'd already made my mind up to say, look, you know, Stewart's a real deal, and more than happy to bring him in part of the team.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're driving back, probably about 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, and pitch black, and driving down this country lane, and Stewart just grabbed my arm and said, slow down. I was like, I'm not speeding, you know.
Yeah.
So slow down.
Yeah.
I went, why? And he said, there's something around the corner. And literally within 10 seconds of going around this blind bend, there was a drunk guy in the middle of the road. And if I hadn't slowed down, I probably would have hit him.
Oh,
so obviously drove past this guy, looked at Stewart and went, Stewart, you've got the job. You've got the job. But yeah, I was like, wow, that was just like, yeah, you've got some friends looking out for you here, Stewart, and you know, it's all for the right reasons.
Was that like a vision in your mind, or was it when you got spirit guides, haven't you?
Just straight away, I've been told, you know, I'm not told to tell him to slow down. It's an immediate
slow down.
Do it.
Yeah.
So I can't really explain that. So they haven't said, oh, Stewart, can you tell Andrew to slow down? I'm just telling him to slow down.
Yeah.
So they told me, but they've put that through like fast internet. It's like, stay, done. There we go. So
just like instinct.
Yeah. And I get that sometimes. I had it recently. I was coming back, pick my children up from school. And we're travelling back on the Winchester Road, and it was at night. And something said to me straight away, slow down. But it did say slow down. So I slowed down, and a deer ran out in front of the car.
Wow. Yeah. See,
you know, so there's processes where this sort of thing comes through, where it's to protect me, protect my mate. I remember years back, you know, I do my readings, and long time back, probably 18 years ago, I used to do readings in parties and things like that for the girls. And one night I said to the girls who I was going to go out to, I can't come out to you until a bit later. So I was just running behind time. Got there, got to the house. And then suddenly something said, you need to get in contact with Dee or Pam, her mum. They were at Beachdown, which is a club where we are down here. And you have to turn right and go over the traffic. It's really dodgy getting out. But this whole thing was get hold of her now. Couldn't get hold of her. They'd done a tannoy at the gym, and I got hold of her, spoke to her. I said, when you go out there tonight, you need to turn left, don't turn right over the traffic. There was a crash outside there that night.
Oh, see, I had a similar thing once when I was travelling to work at Romford in Essex. I was going up the slip road off the A13, and I just suddenly thought, what happens if there was like on the back of this truck, the truck with the thing you pull down. What if that car engine fell out as it went round? Bloody did it, didn't it? it flew out the back.
That's the final destination, man.
And I've always said I'm like a psychic as a brick. I always used to say. I was like, blimey. So, yeah.
We've all got it. It's just, I think we've lost the ability with it a lot of the time. I use it every day.
Yeah.
But I think the rest of us, because life has become not so easy nowadays, I know with everything going on in the world, but life where we don't have to go out there hunting for food, we don't have to live off the back of our instincts or our intuition.
Yeah.
We just nip off down to Sainsbury's and go and get dinner and chuck it in the microwave. It's done in 3 minutes.
Yeah.
So we're not intuitive anymore. Military use it a lot, police use it a lot, ambulance guys, paramedics, doctors, they tend to be very much in contact with their gut instinct.
Yeah.
We've all got it.
So, funny enough, Stuart, I actually found a very bit of old footage of you that we recorded. Do you remember Common Lee's farm?
Yes, I do.
I found this old.
Do I look about 12 years old?
Yeah, do you want to see it? So it's very interesting what you said about your spirit guides and how you became psychic. So here we go. Have a look.
Yeah,
I am Stewart Keeys, and I'm a spiritualist medium working for Paranormal Tours. The work that I do, I work alongside Paranormal Tours. I also do my own work as well as a medium through personal readings for people, and I'm also a Reiki practitioner as well. I enjoy doing a lot of my work for Paranormal Tours, purely because of the amazing things that you do pick up on, and I think through my gift as it's grown and grown and got stronger and stronger over years, that I'm finding now that you can see some of the most amazing things can happen around you, and through the experiences of investigations you will be astounded sometimes at how close the two worlds actually are. Virtually transparent is what I call it, where you can walk into it, the veil between the two worlds. My knowledge, or my gift if you want to call it, really started for me when I recognised it about 6 years old, and that's where it really started out for me. And I used to get lots of odd and strange things used to happen to me, and my parents used to kind of not pretend it wasn't there, and try and keep it quiet. This boy is seeing some unusual, strange things, and that kind of kept with me and stayed with me, and seeing some of the bigger things that used to happen in the world, and then going up to some of the smaller things. And a memory of mine is when I was little, and we was in a restaurant, and I remember saying to my mum and dad that the waitress that was coming over carried the orange juices was going to fall over, and she did, and she went down the 2 steps and dropped the orange juices everywhere, and they used to look at me very strangely. And my mother, when I was talking to her very recently, she said that the midwife, when I was born, said this boy is going to have something special, and within his own kind of powers, and apparently she was very much into all of this, and the paranormal, and also into mediumship and things like that, and very, very interested in it. She said this boy's going to have something, and my mum asked her to explain it, and she said it was the 7th son born on the 7th day. And if you're born the 7th of the 7, or any 7s of any type, then he's got something very, very different. And that's how it all really started out for me, and it kind of carried on with me and left me during my teens, as I had to grow up and have the learning curves of meeting girls and doing all the things that a lad does. And as I began to calm down within my life, I found my mediumship. I found also doing meditations and finding inner peace within myself. And then my guides started to come forward to me in my life, and I have 2 main guides that work with me. Raging Cloud, he's one of my American Indian guides, and I also have Atawa as well, and he's another one of my guides. And they work quite closely alongside me during investigations. And they're the ones that give me the information I hear. I've got my psychic, a natural psychic, a natural healer. I also have the ability to have my clairaudience, my clairsentience. Clairaudience is your hearing, your clairsentience is a lot of your feelings. And I feel the presences, I feel what's around me. Sometimes I can feel strong energies all around me, and also I can see as well, and sometimes as I will shut my eyes, it's almost like a film reel going through around my eyes and seeing lots and lots of different images and pictures of things. And sometimes when I go into an investigation, I get a lot of these images way before I even go to one of these investigations, which is quite amazing. It's fantastic when it's validated later on, and it's something I enjoy very much. I look forward to meeting you very soon on one of these investigations of Paranormal Tours, and showing you what Paranormal Tours are like, and also showing you what the other side of life is like, and bring the two worlds closer.
I remember that video.
I did, so young. Really interesting on that film footage. I don't know if you've seen it or not. Andrew and I were kind of a little bit staggered. there was a big orb that went in front of me, and then to the right, it looked like a figure walked in and then walked back out again. You must look back at that.
Have a look. If anyone sees that at home, make a comment, as well. That's really interesting. I'll have a look back at that. That was Commonly's farm, I think we filmed that at, upstairs in that little separate cottage. In fact, I think that was the night we was there and the lady was drunk. Do you remember that?
God, that rings a bell now. Yes.
Who are you in my house?
Yeah, she didn't know what we were doing there, did she?
Yeah, I think she got that drunk that she didn't realise she had a paranormal investigation going on.
I think anyone could have walked in there and stayed the night.
Yeah.
God.
We have come across some funny stuff over the times, though. It's definitely. Andrew, I've pulled something from the archives for you as well. And can you believe this month it's 20 years ago you was at Beaulieu?
Wow.
Yeah, Most Haunted 2003. And got a little clip here for you.
Now, as a scientist, I need evidence. A week and a half ago, we sent 4 people to spend the night here in Beaulieu. They took EMF meters, they took sound recording devices, they took motion sensors. And they found what they believe is evidence on their sound recording device. And this is what they heard.
Do you remember that?
I do, yeah. At that particular night, when we did the pre-investigation, the pre-investigation to the live show, we basically set up an experiment in that there's basically a room called the Domus from memory, and we basically locked it all off with a motion detector, and then locked the room, and then went out to the grounds to do some investigation around there, and we could see in the top floor of the Domus, we could see lights flickering on and off. I was like, that wasn't doing that earlier. And we left the lights on, but yeah, it was flickering on and off, and then all of a sudden over the radio, we heard our alarm going off. Something had tripped, so we sprinted back to the Domus, unlocked the door, and nobody there. There's only one way into the place, nobody there, and then we listen to the recording, and you can hear footsteps going up the stairs, and then as the entity approaches the alarm gives you a little warning at first, and then the steps carry on, and then the alarm goes off.
Oh.
And I remember I sent this recording to you, Jamie, and you analysed it using your knowledge and your equipment, your experience, and you said, "Yeah, I can hear." And you actually told me the size of the room from your audio.
Was that what this was for?
Yeah. So you could you told us the size of the room and described, well, that's wooden floor, that's stone flooring, that's wooden floorboards, and you were spot on with your listening of the description of the room. And then what you said to me was, I can hear the footsteps coming up, the alarm goes off, but then the footsteps completely disappear. They don't run up. They don't run out of the house. They don't run out of the room.
That's amazing.
I was like, wow, okay. And because the room was locked, there's nobody in or out of that. So that was quite an exciting time. And cap on that, Kerry and I were, my wife, when we were doing the investigation, we were downstairs in the dome. This is like a museum part. My brother and a couple of the other investigators, they were upstairs in the domus. And it was all very quiet, and we could hear somebody coming down the same set of stairs. We could hear somebody coming down the stairs, but they were like carrying keys. Oh. And I thought it was one of the girls from the team coming down the stairs, going to their car to get something or something like that. But then the footsteps stopped at the bottom of the stairs, and we were looking. It's like looking at each other, going, "Did you hear someone?" Yeah. So I radioed upstairs, and I said to my brother, "Has somebody just come down the stairs?" "No, we're all sitting. Nobody's moved. We're sitting in the same place." I said, "We've just heard somebody coming down the stairs with keys jangling keys in their hand." "No, no one's moved. We didn't hear anything." But my wife and I, we both heard that. So yeah, very, very interesting place.
That's really interesting. I never realised that was almost like my demo audition for Paranormal Tours, if I remember rightly.
Yeah.
It's all a blur nowadays, isn't it?
Yeah.
Back on, you know, some of the things in my mind of what we've done, and it is just a blur.
Yeah. It's only
we've done so much,
so
many locations.
I
mean, there's snippets of just amazing things that's happened, of course. But yeah,
I'll tell you what else is a blur as well, is the fact that you, Andrew, your brother Nick ended up scaring the whole most haunted audience with the figure. Do you remember that?
Yeah. What was that?
We've got a little clip here.
Hello, what's your name?
Matthew. Yeah, just going back to the same bit, we've got in contact with people at home, and they even saw that figure at home on telly. So it was definitely
there.
Definitely
What exactly did they see?
It was just this white crouching figure underneath the cross, just as they took the double digital camera picture and had the orbs. And
We've got to definitely look back at that. Yeah. It's on the right-hand side. You've thought it was like a child?
I thought it was a little white child crouched down like that underneath the cross.
Oh, we've got to have a look back at that.
Oh, it's a little white child. So, let's look at that. Look, it's like...
It's my brother. He's just with an EMF meter around the cross. Brilliant.
So if anyone,
so that's the thing. Sometimes with these TV programs and stuff, people, you get what people that are just so a believer that they don't question anything, and that's the wrong way to go about an investigation. You have to go with a completely open mind, but challenge everything. You know, and if there is a knock on the door or whatever it might be, well, what could it be? You know, go and look, go and investigate. That's why you're there.
Yeah.
Don't believe it's paranormal straight away.
And I went in like that as well, actually, from my side of things. It's all very easy for a medium to go, oh, it's, you know, Bob the ghost. But I would always, you know, if there was a tap on the window, I'm the first one to look at the window, see if there's a branch of a tree or something knocking on the window. I went in with a bit of a scientific mind as well. And I think you've got to do that, because otherwise, like that, people just run away with themselves and they make up all sorts of things in their brain.
Yeah, I totally agree. I mean, even today, when I investigate now, I instantly, it's everything can be explained. That's what they always say, isn't it? It can be explained. Is that when you can't explain it, that's when it becomes paranormal. But there does seem to be a case across the internet now. It's just completely flooded with people just goofying around, doing urban exploring or whatever, and as soon as the slightest noise, and they're instantly thinking it's some sort of paranormal situation. They're not being logical, not looking into the situation.
Yeah, it's more for the thrill of it rather than the understanding of it, I think.
Yeah.
Then discredits itself in some ways, the paranormal community, doesn't it? The true paranormal community. When you've got these guys doing this all the time, it's almost they're making a mockery of it. You know, maybe. So I know there's different levels of entertainment, if you want to call it, but yeah, it's a bit frustrating when you see some of the stuff.
It is very frustrating. I mean, I still try, and everything you see in the Paranormal Torch episodes, we've basically removed a lot of the stuff that we know has been caused by us or someone else or something outside, and we try and leave what's left inside the episode is open to your interpretation. But I'll tell you what is good. I don't know how much you guys have watched of the YouTube like paranormal genre, but we've now got a lot of debunker videos that go up via debunker channels. You've got like Beardo, Parpel, and it's really good. I was talking to one of them earlier on a message, and I said it's good because you strike balance. I'm open for debunking. Debunk the videos all the way. Feel free to debunk the Paranormal Torch videos all you want. I know what happened, and I've only a handful of situations have ever been strange, as we've experienced, haven't we? So, I mean, I mean, for instance, when we first met at Coalhouse Fort in person, do you remember we had a few things happen that night? We had the misty figure in the tunnels. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I mean, we didn't see it at the time, but what was happening was a group of us in one part of the tunnel, and we could hear these kind of footsteps. And we're looking down, we couldn't see them, but the footsteps were getting like heavier and louder, coming towards us, and then, you know, it just went away. It stopped.
Yeah, I think we've got a clip here.
But look back at the footage, we saw this misty thing jumping towards us.
That's right. It's almost like it's ducking under, isn't it, as well? Let's have a quick look.
It's trying to sneak past us.
Here we go. So you want to keep an eye on, there you go, at the right of the body. It's very fast. I've slowed it down as well.
That is a frightening place, actually. I mean, I don't get unnerved very often.
Yeah.
But there's probably 2 or 3 places I did, didn't I? But that Coalhouse Fort is definitely one of those places where there's other stuff in there.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just
Yeah, look at that mist. Yeah,
strange.
it's sort of it's very See, it's now moving again, but yeah, it's I just done a bit of a freeze in there of the video. All we know is we had Nick, your brother Nick, was to the right of the camera, but I don't know. I think see a little bit of me. Some people saying could it have been from the breath from his mouth, but the thing is, it's the position it comes from. It comes from down the tunnel a little bit, probably about 1 meter or 2 meters away down the tunnel, because people forget that the camera's zoomed a little bit, and when it's those tunnels are about 1.5 meters wide, something like that. It's
and the thing as well, which you know, I'm not saying it is paranormal, but piqued my interest in it, was that if it was your breath, it would be going outwards, not towards. You know, so again, I'm happy for it to be debunked, and it could have been a breath, but it coincided with the strange noises that we were hearing at the same time.
We also had the other thing, didn't we, over in the quadrangle? That's the night I'll never forget. The Beth, cannot forget.
Yeah, there was a couple of things happened there from memory.
Something fell inside one of the rooms. I thought I heard something scraping and throwing. But we can't be sure, because you wasn't sure whether it was your arm moving. But the other thing was the Elizabeth, her giggle. Well, have a quick look at that. Let's have a quick look.
Beth, you know we're not here to hurt you. We're just here to make friends. Say hello. Is that you? Is that you laughing? Friends? Say hello. Is that you? Is that you laughing? Beth, you know we're not here to hurt you. We're just here to make friends. Say hello. Is that you? Is that you laughing? Huh? Is that you laughing then? I heard it. That was it. Did you laugh? I've not heard anything. I'm just here to make friends. Say hello. Is that you?
Yeah, that was definitely that was what really got me going. That was it.
And there was only one lady with us. One of your colleagues at Coal House. She was kind of looking after us.
Sue, I think her name was.
Yeah, I mean, lovely lady, and newer stuff. But also coinciding with that, we had something thrown at us, but it's a 50-50 whether it's paranormal or not. But it was more of it was either something falling down from the ceiling, but where my perspective was something was thrown towards us,
like get out,
like through us, rather than dropping. It came towards us. So again, it could have been falling down from the ceiling, but it was just again coinciding with the activity in that area at the same time.
I mean, the place. I mean, even when I was there, I managed to debunk a lot of things that perhaps were experienced because I got to know the fort a lot more. But we, me and James, who I was with, we certainly had our own share of experiences. And I had a lady, Sam, that used to look after the events when I couldn't run them. And there was an incident where her and a couple of people were in the latrines. Do you remember latrines, the toilets? And I don't know if you've seen this video. I'll probably put it over this now.
Sorry, that was me, that one.
What, talking?
Oh, sorry, I thought you said walking, because...
No, it sounds like Sue was talking. Dave, just call out if anyone's down there.
Hello, is anybody down there? 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 I don't know if it was in my head, but when I called out, is anyone there, I thought I heard a female voice answer me back, and I thought someone was outside. Yeah, you heard what I did.
Can't see anybody out here. That's why I took that off. I think he's going to pipe over that window or something. No, it sounds like Sue was talking. No, if it was a radio, they'd have put you'd have heard it indoors because children were around, didn't they? Let me just see what they are. Jenny.
We was nowhere near that area that night. There's no way my team could have interfered with Sam's team. They were the only 2 females on site. It was 2:30 in the morning. So who was the mystery voice? And basically what it was is the video. She's the only lady there, and there's another female voice. Yeah, and we don't know. And it's clearly a female, but it's also a voice that was something more. The tone was something more 30s or 40s, not now. Yeah, not proper typical Essex accent now. So it's, but that place will always be, one in my heart. Sort of that will live.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Unfortunately, you can't go in now. Unfortunately, it's all closed and. Yeah.
Is that safety? Is it or?
Sorry.
Is that because of safety now? That it's just
I
not
think
safe
it's
to go
something to do with wildlife. Where it's been closed for a couple of years now, the wildlife have took over, and they've sort of, I think foxes are in there, badgers, I don't know, owls as well. Yeah, there's been a few things. You did remember to take out those people you did that pilot for, didn't you?
Yeah.
People were wondering what's that all about.
Can you imagine doing something in there now, and you didn't know about the foxes, and then you got a load of eyes looking at you down the bottom of the tunnel? Jesus.
And the noises foxes make.
Yeah,
well,
we got a little clip here of what I'm on about. You did a little pilot, didn't you?
I'm Stewart Keeys, Psychic Medium, and I've been experiencing the paranormal since the age of 6. I'm stood here today at the gates of one of the most haunted locations in the world, and behind those gates are some very brave people who are about to experience my paranormal life firsthand. Let's meet the contestants. Good evening everybody, and welcome to Coal House Fort. This is an amazing place. This is going to be your home for the next 5 nights. I hope you had a good night's sleep last night, because that's probably the last good night's sleep you're going to have for a while. This is one of the most haunted locations in the world.
Oh, that was. I remember that day we filmed that, actually. It's a shame it didn't really go on anywhere, did it?
That's a good.
Yeah.
Sorry, say again.
It didn't actually go on anywhere, did it?
No, it didn't. Unfortunately, we just couldn't seem to get it away. We managed to get in front of Mark Burnett, ITV, who was heading up ITV at the time. He really liked it, and we thought we could be onto something here.
Yeah.
And there was going to be another meeting, and then things changed at ITV, and it was just timing.
That's right.
And
I remember now.
In the end, Mark wouldn't take it on because somebody else had come into the mix. And you know what it's like, one person might love it, and Mark he's the main guy, but then there's other people involved, and it just didn't, just couldn't get it away, sadly, frustratingly, because it was such a great concept.
I mean, I know.
Went to a friend of mine, Anna Springham. She's a director and TV producer. She's worked in ITV Channel 4. She's done Big Brother and all sorts. She really liked the concept from the reality side of things, and actually went into meetings with them for Knickerbocker Glory and another production company as well that she worked at. But the girls all liked it around the table. They thought it was fantastic. But the guys, producers, they didn't like it.
Yeah.
So I was like, is that man-male thing? We're like, oh no, this is rubbish. This is, But all the women really wanted to do it. I then wished it was just solid women, to be the decision makers, because the fellas are putting it off. But everything's done for a reason. At the end of the day, it wasn't meant to be. It's on the shelf, and
maybe something in time, maybe come back up again.
Yeah. It does, isn't it, these things? Sometimes you just leave them on the shelf and it pops back out sometimes. It's timing. I'm not worried about it. You just let it go and just move.
Should I place a link below for anyone who wants to watch the full 5-10 minutes for that? So if they want, I'll put it in the comments below for that. What was it? Paranormal Survivor. It's a good title as well. Yeah, it's a good title as well. I mean, all three of us have had our fair share of failed concepts for pilots and series, haven't we? I mean, we had the Paranormal Tours DVDs we tried to do. I did a couple of other pilots. I went up to Birmingham, and I don't know if you remember Lady Snake, who was on Ghost Adventures, did something with her. I think she passed away now, bless her. But And it's just, I've had people come to me and said, I'm doing a pilot. And as soon as they say that, I'm like, right, what's your budget? Have you got a network? Because there's so many people, you know.
Being commissioned.
Because everyone's trying to do it. And the only way you can really push forward is, at the moment, yourself, is YouTube. I mean, even Warner Brothers, I don't know if you've heard, Warner Brothers have literally culled most of the paranormal shows. When they took over Discovery.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, when Discovery took over, everything, a lot of things got shelved. Obviously, Destination Fear, which is now Project Fear on YouTube. You've got stuff like Ghost Adventures is still going, because I think it's their longer shows, and they've literally gone, nope, not going to have that, not going to have that anymore, not going to have that anymore. There's been a lot of upset, and so a lot of these shows have now gone to live online on YouTube or in some other streaming capacity. It's a difficult situation out there.
Sometimes they can be more successful for people being, through some of these other streaming facilities, but I think it's also in TV. What I learned from Hannah Springham all that time back is that things can be in vogue, out of vogue. So it's peaks and troughs with it. Like the market goes up and down. What's interesting in TV and film in all sorts of genres changes quite a lot. Then 5 years time can come back in again because it's back in vogue again.
Yeah.
So but I think that the online streaming, the way that's going, I think that's a very powerful way to go. Really,
makes you wonder how.
You think back.
Makes you wonder how.
Someone told you you're watching stuff off your phone, you never think it never happened, but it's very successful. So I think if you've got something that you believe in and you want to do something with it, then just keep on pushing.
Yeah, I mean, this whole Paranormal Tours thing, as you guys know, I've always wanted to do like some sort of series. And in the end, I was just like, I'll just do it myself because I was on my own, and I was with
like with Paranormal Tours. We did it ourselves.
Yeah, I mean, we was the first events company to do trailers, I think, and now they all do.
Yeah, lots of things.
It makes you wonder where we'd be now if we'd carried on doing that sort of stuff. And I remember the last investigation you said to me. I think it was the castle that's up Warwickshire way. Shropshire. There's a castle at Shropshire. And you said to me, this is the last event. I remember that. One.
Was that Topbury Castle?
No, I don't think it was that one. It's a small one.
No,
rounded sort of. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember the place. I think Jamie Wake was on it, the medium, wasn't he?
Oh yeah, blimey, that's a name I haven't heard in a while. Yeah. Would you guys do it again?
I'd never say no, but it's got to be right, and it's got to be done for the right reasons.
Yeah.
I often get lots of past friends, customers that are friends now, and all that thing. Can we have a reunion? Can we do it again? It's like we really, I've started revitalizing a few of the Paranormal Tours sort of Facebook page and whatnot, just because I've got an interest in it, but yeah, I would never say no.
You two should come out with me.
Yeah, definitely.
Come out and do a location. If I get one your way, get one down your way. Hampshire still.
Yeah, we're in Hampshire.
Yeah, sort of do that way. But the thing is, over the years, we had a lot of laughs and we had a lot of screams, didn't we, as well? With Paranormal, I think hundreds of screams. I mean, yeah.
You think, dealing with spirit all the time, you wouldn't think I get scared, but there's a couple of times I screamed like a girl.
Yeah. Well, it's funny you say that, actually. It would have come out by now, but the episode, when I was talking to a good friend, Luke, from Shadow Paranormal, I've done a couple of collabs with, he jumped, he was like, oh, jumped like, I've never seen him jump so much. And it's just funny, people you don't expect to jump. And but I mean, when we was discussing about talking tonight, I know I saw a few videos down the list, and I remember the Leomani Tower incident. I filmed that one, and do you remember it, where the girls something went over in them? We'll just have a little quick play, but bear with me. Watch your ears.
Grandad, can I take my arm down now? Shut up.
Please, shush, it was my chair.
What are you jumping for?
Oh God, I remember that night. My ears were ringing for ages after that. About 7 girls in a room screaming. It's not exactly the nice thing to have. But the thing is, we had a lot of that over the years, didn't we? Where people, like, it's the moment, isn't it? You're in the moment of doing, like, individual, and something happens like that, and it just makes you jump. Everyone jumps, even I jumped. And but you
jumped, is it?
Yeah. Do you know Leomani Tower, actually? I did inquire of them, and I got a very strange information back. Oh, we've never done paranormal investigations before. It's something we're not interested in. I'm like, really? Hang on a minute. I've been there, I think, twice. Twice. And then I swear most Haunted went there, didn't they? So,
yes.
I have tried to go back, but for some strange reason, I don't know whoever's handling their emails, but maybe don't know about that side of things. But yeah.
Thank you. Bye.
Yeah. It's also who's handling it, I guess, whether they're into it personally themselves.
Yeah.
If they've got an interest, they'll be open to it. But if you've got somebody that's closed down to it, they're going to we're not having any of that in here.
Yeah, it's a difficult situation. I mean, some people, it's belief. It's almost like a religion, if you think about it. You know, it's like you've got Christianity and Muslim, and then atheists, who don't obviously. But being into the paranormal, it's your belief, isn't it?
Yeah, I think for me, it's not a faith or religion of any sorts. I think it's just an understanding and knowledge that there's something after. The saying that you've always said, and I've used this a lot since hearing Andrew say it, that there's life after life, not life after death. So that's my trail of thinking. There's something more out there. I don't have a faith or belief in it as such. I don't know about you, but it's
again, it's I've seen enough over the decades now to believe there is something after we finish in this physical body. I think your life force, your energy, and this is coming from I was purely a skeptic, but over the investigations over the years and the evidence that's been presented, then there is something else, and we'll never know until it happens to us. But I believe there is something else. Otherwise, what's the point? You're here and that you're gone. I know a lot of people think that.
Yeah. I thought it'd be a bit naive. We just thought there's,
But yeah, it's one way or another we'll find out.
Yeah,
that's guaranteed.
Yeah,
guaranteed.
I was talking to my mum about this earlier actually. 'Cause she popped around for a cup of tea, and I said everyone will say different things like, oh, well, they know that what happens when you pass away, but I suppose no one knows really, do they? And that's the mystery. That's the exciting mystery about it.
Get over there, then you can't tell anyone else. So.
No, exactly.
Well, you can. You come back.
Well, you can. Yeah.
You come back.
Yeah, but then they've got to believe you.
They've got to believe you. Yeah.
You've got to have a code word, haven't you? Secret code word.
Absolutely. And I've done that, with people where they've had certain things they're going to say to somebody, and they've actually said that during a session with me, which is then given that deliverance of, which is just mind blowing, and even I will be blown away sometimes when I'm doing my stage shows and things that are coming through, and people could visibly see I was shocked of what was said. It's just so accurate sometimes.
So precise that you couldn't guess it.
Yeah. People at home, if you do please check out Stewart's. What's your website, Stewart?
StewartKeeys.com.
That's it. Oh, you got your Facebook page as well. You got a new Facebook page, haven't you? We'll have to stress if it says official.
Yeah, but you can put a link.
Yeah, I'll pop them up below as well. But I mean, I've only worked with a handful of mediums, and you're definitely the one that's up there as one I believe in. So, I mean, there's so many people out there that are trying to do mediumship. I don't know what you think about this actually. Also, about people. I remember one person claimed they went online and did a course, and now claims to be a trance mediumship. I don't know what you think about all that, because I thought it was a spirit. Yeah, I thought it was something like spiritualist medium.
I teach, but my teaching that I do, I think a lot of the time it's for people that are just interested in the genre. They're not going to go out there to become a psychic medium, and a lot of the time, I find myself saying no to them, which I know sounds strange because it costs a lot of money. But I say no to them because I'm going to work from my heart and not my pocket. If it's not for them or it's not going to help them, there's no point in them doing it.
Yeah.
And yet there's a lot of people I've worked with, and they have gone on to be psychic mediums, but I think they've had so much within them for such a long time anyway, naturally. They just needed to have something just to pull the trigger within them to guide them to that final stage to go, here I am, this is what I'm doing. But I think a lot of it is born within somebody. Yeah. I know we are all psychic. Every single one of us on the face of the planet is psychic. Whether we choose to do something about it or not is another thing. But mediumship, I could fill the O2 arena and find one person maybe that can be a medium. So they're far and few between. And I think that's the natural part that people have got within them, and whether they choose to do something about it as well. Some people don't want to because sometimes it scares them. You know, they're interested, but it scares them of what might come through
That's
or
true.
what they're going to attract, and
Yeah, that's true. Same with when you go into places in supposed haunted buildings. You expect, well, not expect, try and be open to something happening. Don't close off, and nothing might not happen. So, but with
I remember one night. Sorry to interrupt
that's
you.
okay, mate.
I remember one night going to Nottingham, going to Justice, and there was a fella there, and I think he wanted to go-kart racing or something. He was really disappointed that his wife's bought him something like a paranormal night, and he just didn't want to be there. He did not want to be there. He had every part of his ether that
Negative,
was, I'm just horrible. I'm going to be negative. I'm going to make this really hard for everybody around me. So anyway, he goes, I'll go in a cell, and I'll do it. I'll go on my own. You want to walk talk? No, I don't need any of that. Anyway, probably about 10 minutes later, we hear a scream. And a scream like I've never heard before. Blood-curdling scream. And we shot down there, and he is white as a sheet. He's trembling. He said, "Stop this for a game of soldiers." He said, "I'm going to go and sit out in the car for the rest of the night." And I think what happened is they targeted him purposely because he's just being, and basically what had happened, they've got the chains still there. They used to chain him up on the walls, and they all rattled, and he heard a
freak anyone out, yeah.
But he still believe.
Yeah. It's amazing. I've even seen like police officers when they used to come to Coalesce Fort, police officers on events, and like leave because they're so scared. And you think, well, you're supposed to be brave, and you can't even handle it. And I mean, so people at home that have never been on an investigation, sometimes you can go and nothing happens, can't you? But as I like to point out, and particularly lately I've been focusing on this, is I like it when you get a sequence of events happen. I think we had that at Normandy Inn, actually. Do you remember the Normandy Inn?
That's in Tenby, South Wales, isn't it?
I remember. I don't have footage, but I remember we had a locked off the room guardian. Do you remember the room guardian, like the sensor thing? And you place something up in the top room. We even locked it, and I think only one person had the key to that room. And that room guardian started going off. And when we went up there, we went in. It was cold, and there was a smell of, I think it was like lavender or something. That's what I mean. A sequence of events. That's what I like to look out for, and I think that's, that's particularly more interesting for an investigator. It's definitely. I mean, going back to the Hellfire Caves, actually. Do you remember Stephen, who we had as a investigator? He had that poor incident where everyone jumped, didn't he? When the monkey.
Yeah, I mean, I heard all this commotion eventually, but it was quite an impressive piece of activity that happened that night.
Was that locked door? I can't remember if it was locked door.
No, it was right at the very end of the Hellfire Caves. There was like a mannequin display and a model of a monkey, and the story is that they would, for fun, the gentry would lock the monkey in the box and hit it with sticks and throw it around, and eventually they'd let the monkey out, and the monkey would just run around and just go crazy because he's been, he wants to get out of there. This particular investigation, Stephen was running a team down there and just filming away. The medium, Celia, she was there giving the information that she felt. And then all of a sudden, the monkey just got thrown or moved, and just like poltergeist activity, just shoved it somewhere and scared the hell out of everybody.
I think we've got a clip, actually.
But
should we have a look? Let's have a look.
Yeah.
They get very annoyed with these sometimes. They really get annoyed with them. They're going further.
Don't run! What did that? Somebody just knocked the monkey out and did that, okay? We were nowhere near it.
Right, okay.
Don't run, don't panic, okay? Okay. Let's look at the damage.
Come over, we want to go back in.
The monkey has gone over. Okay, come on, come on.
Okay, okay.
I can.
You can hear the scaredness in his voice.
Yeah.
In his voice.
Was that the inner temple?
Yes.
So the very end.
Right at the
I actually
very
popped
end,
back there. Actually,
That's the wrong way to go as well. If you did get scared, you've got a long walk back.
Was it 3/4 of a mile or something, isn't it?
It's quite big. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it does take a while to get from the back end to the front end.
I popped past there actually.
I remember doing the recce there, and it was just me and Nick, and we went there early in the morning, about 10 o'clock in the morning, before the place actually opened. And the basis said, "Look, go and help yourself. We'll wait up here. Go and have a look and see if it's suitable for what you want to do." So me and Nick were walking down, and we were surprised how big this place actually was. But there was plenty of kind of areas where we felt that would be good to investigate. And it was, as we were going down, we turned our torches off, and it is pitch black. You do this, and you cannot see your hand. It's so dark in there. Anyway, we were chatting, and we thought, yeah, this is a good place. We're feeling the kind of the vibes, and it was more of, as we were walking back, we felt as if something was following us, and it was like started feeling really uncomfortable, and we got about halfway back up, and I was like, something in my head said, turn around. There's something, turn around. I'm like, I'm going to turn around. So I had my camera, and this is before we had mobile phone cameras. I had my digital camera. I readied the camera. I turned around. I stopped still. Took a photo. Couldn't see anything, and we kind of just sharpishly got back out and spoke to the staff there and said, yeah, we'd love to come down here one evening if that's good for you. And we sort of one of the first teams to actually go into the Hellfire Caves. Anyway, got back to write up the event and start to share it with the clients and everything, and looked at the photo, and it was like, what is that? And again, there's an image or something. Now, skeptic could say it's just lens flare.
That's amazing.
But for me, it could be lens flare, but I felt something was as if something was following us, and I was told to turn around and turn around and look.
Look how much that's lit up.
Amazing
as well.
Yeah, I mean, that's
incredible.
There's two figures I could see.
Yeah, I can see.
There's a tall one and a little one.
Yeah.
But again, a skeptic could say it's just a lens flare from the flash.
Yeah.
But again, it's.
I love it. You
can
can see the flash there. That's gone onto the stone, can't you?
Yeah.
That's a different thing together, and that's pitch black down there. Bearing in mind, everyone. And that's. It's there as well. You can just see there's two things just there. But given that was pitch black, and what's really intriguing with that is that didn't light up at the time, so you didn't see that. That's going to come out on that camera.
Yeah.
But that was an incredible place.
Yeah, it's a very interesting place, and if you get even if you just go for a visit one day, it's well worth the visit and just experiencing it.
Like I said, I popped past. I was in High Wycombe, West Wycombe, the other month, and I actually popped past there with Gemma. We popped in and had a look around, and you can actually go in the inner temple now properly. They've took all of the stuff away, apart from the table.
The table all away.
The table's still there, but you can actually go in all of the places, except for do you remember when you walked through? There's the middle bit with the bars and everything was behind. All of the mannequin sort of things were there. That part's still there. And then is it men to the left, women to the right, or something like that? It used to be the
something like that from memory. It's
that one,
good old place.
Yeah, that one's definitely still up there on the list of. I think even like people from abroad want to come and investigate. It's definitely the location to sort of A couple of other places. You talking about when I spoke to you on the messenger, you said something about Farnham Castle. You had an incident at Farnham Castle.
Yeah, I mean, I've not ever really been scared, apart from a couple of occasions. And one of the occasions we were at Farnham Castle, and it's got an old keep, and on the right-hand side you can see there, and there's also the main sort of housing part, which is, I think it's called Bishop's Palace. And we were doing an investigation, and it was part of it was under siege in the Civil War. Anyway, we were down in the cellar, so it's quite a big cellar. So we were down there, and we with a group of clients and investigators, and we were doing the baseline readings and taking the temperature. And it's cold. It is down there. It's underground kind of thing. Take the temperature readings, and then we turn the lights out. And after a little while, the temperature did start to drop even more, and then we were checking it and seeing what was going on. And then again, your gut instinct, like Stewart was talking about earlier, my gut instinct started telling me, get out. And I'm like, and I'm talking to myself going, no, I'm not going anywhere. I'm here to investigate, I'm not going anywhere. And it was like little one angel on the devil on one shoulder, one telling me one thing and me telling the other. So, and then I didn't say anything, but then a few other people with the investigators said, I don't like it in here. I'm like, okay. I said, what are you feeling? Well, he said, oh no, but I just feel as if something's in here with us. And I'm like, okay. And this is validating my experience. I'm not telling them. I'm not putting anything in their brain. And then they keep getting this, get out. I'm like, no, I'm not going anywhere. And then I was just about to say, ask a question, and I physically got hit. Like, it wasn't hard, but it was like just like this in my solar plexus. And it scared the life out of me. And I went, everybody out. And it was, so I went white as a sheet. And that was probably the first time I was actually scared of spirit or ghost, whatever, because they'd physically hit me.
Physical attack.
But it wasn't like, it wasn't like somebody had come and punched me, but it was just enough to say, hang on, sunshine, I'm here, I'm in charge, get out. Yeah. So anyway, went out and I calmed down, and they were, all the clients there, they were like screaming because they just didn't know why I was shouting for them to get out. So I said, look, I didn't mean to frighten you, but I said, look, I'll explain in a minute. But I saw the medium, I think it was Celia, she was there, and I said to Celia, she said, nobody come down, I need to go down by myself. So she went down and said what she picked up, and it was a Civil War soldier that was badly injured, but is still protecting the place. And he was actually protecting us from something else that we didn't know about.
So
he was looking after our back, because something else was there that was going to do something.
So because you weren't listening,
he had to do something. And I was like, well, okay. But yeah, it didn't stop me going back there for another investigation. But it's I don't think they allow investigations anymore, unfortunately. But yeah, very interesting experience. And I always say to people, they can't hurt you. It didn't hurt me. It just shocked me. But yeah, it was interesting.
It is, quite that scared me if anything like that happened. And also, we were talking about South Sea Castle.
Yeah. That was the big one for me. Interestingly, because you had the solar plexus thing going on, we were doing some table tipping down in one of the tunnels, and everything was set up. We were all good to go. Things were rocking and rolling with the table, brilliant. And then this girl says, "I can see all these twinkly lights coming down above your head." And then out of nowhere, suddenly I've got hit in the solar plexus, and it was such a powerful hit. It's kind of pushed me back. Behind me is like these metal gates, almost huge things to kind of divide the tunnel. But against that, so you've got the gates, and then you've got all this wood, almost like what you would use to build ceilings in houses. Huge, great big things, 6 foot by it was huge. Anyway, they're all like that. Bang! Hit me, gone through the gates. The gates have gone like that, and all that wood collapsed on the other side.
Oh, that was loud.
And we were out of there in about 0.2 of a second. It was one of those moments where that was so physical that, you've got to go, because this is now gone beyond the joke. And I think that was, out of all of them I'd done, I think that was probably the one I was really shook up.
You ran me straight after. I wasn't doing that one. I think it was Stephen or Nick.
Yeah, I was properly shook up with that. I was like, hang on a minute. That was big.
John was there as well, wasn't he?
Kerry's
there.
Oh, yeah. Was it maybe? I know I'm the medium, but I'm not going there again.
Mummy, Daddy.
Yeah. Oh, that's brilliant. No, it's always good, interesting how these stories. Well, not they are stories to people, but your experiences stick in your mind, and hopefully we all learn from. Also, we were talking about photos as well. You sent me a couple of photos. It's quite interesting. I was looking at this. Look at this. It's quite. At first, it looks like it's like some sort of double exposure.
Yeah, really interesting. This. So these photographs. This is a client of mine. She sent me these photos, Some way back now, quite a few years ago. These photos, I think, kind of into the 80s, early 80s. And this was her mum that was sat in the chair at the time. And she was doing some channeling spirit work. You can see it's around Christmas time. And weirdly, you've got a claw there. If you look at her hand, there's like a black claw, which is really bizarre. And then she's basically, what's happening there is her energy field is being used for spirit to come through. So to channel, they will use her energy field. So her energy is being pulled from her to the right hand side, and off to the right hand side there's a gentleman, and you can see just trying to see, that's the other picture. Jamie. Oh, there he is there. You can see, you can see it.
See the hands sort of.
Yeah, you can see his hand and the arm is there.
That's
really, but that, I mean, is just phenomenal. And there was a lot that was going on with the house there. It was a central kind of place for spirit to be working with her mum, and her mum actually didn't tell her a lot of what actually went on, and there was a lot more than what you can see there in clinical terms. And the photographs were hidden away in a box in a loft because the mum didn't want her the magnitude of what was going on in the house. And she had experienced a lot of it herself as a child, but her mum always kind of just brushed it off of, don't worry, everything's fine, she would, to protect your children. And it wasn't until they're clearing the house out and clearing the loft out that she found this box of all these photographs of her mum doing channeling work. And this was one of the main ones. There's other stuff as well that's taken place, but yeah, so interesting.
That's interesting how you say it. I never realised about it's like the energy sucking out from the body to make that manifestation. That is really interesting.
Basically what's happening. Yeah, so at that point there, from my experience now, she could channel herself and she could actually do trance. So if that spirit so wished, and she gave permission, that spirit could sit within her energy and then actually talk through her. So in trance work, you get this, and this is what she used to do. And so her being female, suddenly she would have this very deep male voice and it's interesting trance. I mean, I've seen people's eye colours change. I've seen their voice change, dialect change. I've heard, the foreign people suddenly who can't speak a language at all, suddenly speaking French or German, fluent. Incredible.
I've seen that physical appearance, like transfiguration, where the actual outline of their body completely changes. That's freaky.
Yeah, that's a whole different level of mediumship.
Oh well, we've all had some good experiences, but it's been really nice hearing both you and catching up. And catching up as well. And I definitely think we should all three of us should go somewhere.
I think I'll be game.
Yeah. In fact, Stuart, I wanted to take you somewhere recently. Sounds a bit dodgy, doesn't it?
What were you taking?
Yeah, up the aisle. I wanted. But unfortunately, I run out with time and that. But next week's episode, which the guys at home are going to see, the guys and girls are going to see at home, it's a really interesting one. Just have a watch this, and I'll tell you about it.
Are you picking something up from the seat? Oh, there we are. Oh, wow. What's that? That's whoa! What? Is this food? Yeah.
Oh yes, it's the Marina Theatre in Lowestoft. You know Lowestoft, Stuart, don't you?
I know Lowestoft very well, yeah.
Yeah, because I wanted to go back and take you there, but unfortunately they have had a big all of the lighting rig and everything has been stripped, so basically it was all out of bounds for a few months while that happened, so it couldn't happen. And of course the episode needed to be out, and it will be out next week after this video's come out. But
I would all something sometime.
Yeah, it would be nice to get you there, because we did have some. I do think it needs a medium to go back, someone to communicate with a spirit, because not giving away. All I'll say is, for the first time in my life, I've got a grade A EVP, and it's it's in one of the dressing rooms, and it's a lady, and the only lady there was Lady Jamie, and she's on camera and she doesn't say anything. It was completely controlled, so I was really, really, really pleased we picked that up. We nearly missed it actually in editing, and but it's I know, it's one of those things, isn't it? I remember the old days we used to come home with the little mini DVD tapes, You just done all that, and the last thing you wanted to do is watch through a whole tape. And Andrew, do you remember the dictaphones?
Yeah, still got them.
Have you got them still? I think I've got one.
I've still got the kit boxes. Yeah.
Have you got the kit boxes still? Oh wow! Do you have the negative ion detectors?
Yeah.
Ah.
You know what this means?
Sell me one.
I haven't got. Yeah.
They were really good. They were. I've had one. I remember again what I said about earlier, sequence of events. I remember Fort Brockhurst. There was one where the camera went off, the negative ion detector went off, cold spell, and something else alarmed as well. It's like a sequence of events. That was a good location.
Yeah.
But yeah,
that's when there's a lot of energy around, isn't it? And to trigger things. So yeah.
That'd be cool.
And you guys have also said, like, over times, it also depends on the guests as well, doesn't it?
Well, it's the energy, yeah. I mean, if you come in with an open mind and and you're prepared to put the effort into investigating, if you're just going to sit there like a house brick and not actually partake, then spirits going to go, why am I going to bother speaking to them?
That's it.
Yeah, they're not going to be interested at all. I think that's where, in reading, sometimes I find that the more open a person is, the greater the depth of the reading as well. If they come in with all arms closed and closed off to it, then they're just not going to get anywhere.
Yeah. Oh, thank you anyway, guys.
Whatever you put into the night, you'll get out of the night.
That's true.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's it. You have to put in 100% to try and get some sort of 100% back. Yeah.
What was great over those years, though, when we used to do this, is seeing people that used to go. They went in and they were very sceptical. And at the end of the night, I had it a few times, you had it a few times, I actually come up to you and say, thank you so much. I now believe.
You've opened my eyes.
You've opened my eyes to this, and that, to me, that's just like, oh.
And that's all we want. That's mainly what we wanted paranormals to do, was actually open people's eyes and, and start to look at there is other things out there if you look for it, and be open about it.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys. It's been absolutely fantastic catching up with you two. And what was your address again, Stuart?
Say it again, buddy.
What was your web address again?
It is stewartkeys.com. So it's STEWART, and then Keys is KEEYS.
That's it.
StewartKeys.com.
And also, Andrew, it's Facebook at the moment, isn't it, for Paranormal Tours?
Yeah, if you go on the Facebook page, so if you just search for Paranormal Tours, you'll find us. So we're there.
I lost my Facebook page, really sadly. I was gutted.
I did.
One night I was doing some bits and bobs on my Facebook page. It's still there. I can still see it, but I can't access it. So I'm sat there, and then all of a sudden, the page right in front of me, all this stuff is streaming. What do you call them? The ISIS stuff, flags and images and stuff. I'm thinking, Christ, they're going to think I'm a terrorist. So anyway, Facebook, within about 2.3 seconds, took the whole thing down. I then tried to get it back up and speak to them. You can't speak to anybody. It's all bots. And I had to fill out a page to say, look, this wasn't me. Didn't believe me, did they? So I can't get access to it. So anyone that wants to get hold of me, go through the website. Well, I'm just doing TikTok now. I can't get it.
You're getting good at TikTok. You're getting more active on it.
Get a bit more active, yeah. The children said, Dad, you know what you got to do, Dad? You need to join TikTok. I think, so I'm on TikTok as well. Stewart Keeys Psychic.
Once you go to 800, you can go live on TikTok, and that's when it really starts to build.
It takes time to get there, doesn't it? You see all these pages where they've got uber amounts of millions of people. You think, how else are they able to do that?
And it starts to make you think, oh, am I boring or something? But no, you're not. It's just the algorithm. You've got to get the algorithm and pick you up.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
I'll get there.
Thank you anyway. And if you want to see these two on the channel, hopefully I can convince them to come out with me. And thanks guys. Thank you everyone for watching. Leave a comment below if you want a message or anything. And I'll see you guys all on the next video. Take care.